Today, I want to show you an early game friendly iron farm that is very efficient, getting over 400 iron per hour and can easily be expanded to get over 800. It's cheap as well, being mainly built out of stone, with just a bit of wood thrown in as well. Hello, I'm Double Moses and it has been a while. Now behind me is what this video was originally going to be about, but after building it up in survival, which I did live on Twitch, I realized that it wasn't quite as day one friendly as I wanted it to be, so I had to make some changes. Now let's jump into the test world and see the end result, and take a look at what's going on. Now at the end of the video, we'll do up a build tutorial in survival, and as always, there'll be schematics and a world download in the description. Iron farms pretty much all use the same concept. We get 3 villagers together, scare them with a mob, usually a zombie, and they create a golem which we melt down for iron. The villagers need to have slept within the last 20 minutes, and they can't have seen a golem within 16 blocks of them within the last 30 seconds. The first thing I did was to get rid of the need of spawn proofing by raising it up by 7 blocks. Now the ground is outside of the golem spawning area, and mobs on the ground can't affect the farm in any way. But it's still low enough that it's easy to load the villagers and zombie into place without the need for bubble columns or portals or anything like that. Now as much as I love how ridiculous this rail-based zombie cage looked, I wanted to eliminate as much iron from the build as possible, so it had to go. Now the minecart setup did 3 things. It held the zombie in place, mobs in a vehicle can't despawn, and when its head was in the trapdoor, the villagers couldn't see the zombie, so they took that moment to sleep. Now replacing the minecart with a much cheaper boat does the first 2 things, but now we need another way to get the villagers sleeping. We can do this by exploiting the way villagers pathfind while scared. These villagers look like they're running around aimlessly, but there is a pattern to what's happening here. Now these 2 blocks, which look like leftover scaffolding, are actually what they're trying to get to. Because they can't reach them, they're repeatedly picking one as a target and then attempting to get to it. Over on this side where I've removed the blocks, you can see the villagers aren't moving at all, but if I place one in, they'll rush to that side, and placing the other gets us this nice back and forth motion that we can exploit using this wall on the middle bed. As they run past it, it blocks the villagers from seeing the zombie, which gives them an opportunity to sleep. Once they're asleep, they can see the zombie from down here, which wakes them up and gets them back to spawning golems. The spawning platform is pretty straightforward. It's just a bunch of blocks with water streams to push the golems into this pit. The height of the platform is set so that the slabs in the villager cell blocks the golem from seeing the zombie, as that can cause it to fight the water flow and delay the next spawning cycle. As you can see here in this clip I purposely made for this example, and definitely didn't happen naturally because I don't know the dimensions of my own farm and built it incorrectly. This ring is here to block the golems from escaping the drop, and nothing fancy down the pit. We just dig down 12 blocks to get the golems out of the villager's golem detection range, and then they just fall into lava with a hopper to pick up the drops. I did want to find a way to get rid of the pit entirely, but we only have 5 seconds to get the golem 16 blocks away from the villagers. Ideally, we want to spawn an iron golem every 35 seconds, which is the fastest that the game will allow, but if the villagers see the golem after that initial 5-second window, they're going to get hit with a 30-second cooldown, which is going to delay the next spawn. Dropping them down this pit is the easiest way to remove them without nether portals. Killing them on the platform isn't really an option either. It's too slow and ends up dropping our rates by about 20%. Of course, you could build it up in the air like this version behind me, but that just makes getting the villagers and zombie into place a bit of an ordeal, and something you really don't want to do early game. Something I found interesting, but not particularly useful yet, is that it is possible to occasionally get a 30-second golem spawn using 4 or more villagers per cell. In this clip I'm using command blocks to get the time in between spawns, and you can see I'm occasionally getting 600 ticks, which is 30 seconds. The increase in rates is so tiny though that it's not worth it at all. At least I haven't found a way to make it worth it. Now lastly, the villager cell and spawning platforms have been spaced so that we can mirror it over on the other side, but they're distant enough that neither side can see nor interfere with each other's spawning attempts. Essentially, these are 2 independent iron farms sharing 1 zombie. You can fit more than 2 cells around a single zombie, but the spacing starts to get really tight, and you need to start using redstone to regulate the timings if you want to be efficient, and it just starts to get a little complicated. And that's the whole farm. Now I wanted to see just how fast you could get this going, so I started off a new world with a random seed, Teleported myself to a village, and with an empty inventory, no idea of the material list, no plan, and only a vague memory of the layout, I managed to get a single cell complete in 36 minutes, which included guessing how much cobble and logs I'd need, getting food, dying 4 times, and redoing parts that I built wrong. Now, if I actually planned it out properly, and with a bit of luck spawning near a village and a lava source, I believe you could potentially have a 400 per hour iron farm running within about 30 minutes of starting a new world, which I think is pretty good. Okay, now all that's left is to get up there and build up the tutorial version. So if you don't want to watch that, thank you very much for watching. I have been streaming this world at twitch.tv/doublemoses if you're interested. Otherwise, yeah, thank you, and hopefully see you in the next one. If you're hanging around, tutorial time. Here's the material list. You can make it with around 1.5 stacks of stone and under half a stack of logs. You might want some extra boats if you need to move the villages a bit further. And while you only need 1 bucket, having at least 3 can help. You will also want about half a stack of dirt to use as temporary blocks. And to start, find about 2 chunks of flat ground. Exact dimensions are 19 by 17 for the single cell version and 19 by 31 for the double cell. This block is marking where I want the center of the farm to be, so the zombie will be above here. Now to start, grab a temporary block, then go up by 7 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. Then grab your top slabs, place 1 next to that top block. That's where our zombie's going to be. Then in the direction you want your villagers to be, go out 5 empty blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Place 2 more temporary blocks after that. Then on those last 2, place the bed so that the pillow side is facing away from the zombie. Grab your solid blocks, there they are. Then against the last temporary block you placed, place 1 on that side, place 1 on that side. Those are very important, do not forget those. Then shift click in your other 2 beds so that they're lined up with the first one. Now on the other side of this, put another temporary block up against the last one you placed. And then place a wall here. We'll use that later. Now, put 3 temporary blocks on each of the pillows of the bed. Get yourself up there. Now we're going to want to put bottom slabs up against all these on each side that isn't bed. So these will just lock the villages into place. So on those 3 sides, go up once more. Then put 3 bottom slabs so that it'll be covering the pillow sides of the beds. Now we can get rid of all these blocks. Although, leave this path. This is how we're going to load the villages into place later on. Underneath that wall we placed earlier, place a temporary block, then pillar up so that you're on top of the wall block. Get rid of that. Now on each side of this, you're going to want to go out 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then go back away from the zombie 7. 7. Then do that on both sides of that, then join the 2 ends together. Place a solid block next to that temporary block we placed under the wall earlier, then fill out this platform, leaving a 2 by 3 hole in the middle. So you should end up with a platform that is 6 blocks wide, 7 blocks long, and from each side it'll be wall, block, block, hole, leaving a 2 by 3 hole in the center. Place temporary blocks next to the hole like this. Grab your fence gates and shift click so that all 6 of them are covering up the hole. Open them up. Get rid of these temporary blocks. Then place a bucket of water in each corner. And that should give you a nice flow of water into the center like this. Back on the ground, get underneath the hole, then dig out the first layer of the 6 blocks that are directly underneath the hole, just so we can keep track of them. Then on the long side that you want to have your collection on, jump up, skip out 1 block, grab your ladders, then dig down 12 blocks. 1, 2, 11, 12. Then just ladder your way out. From here, grab your signs, double chest, hopper, stairs, lava, and 2 water buckets if you can. Then dig this down a further 11 blocks, so 12 including the layer that we've already done. Once we've dug down our 12 blocks, on the side that you built your collection ladder, we dig in 2 there. Yep, there's our ladder. Now, dig out the block underneath the ladder, the one towards the hole and the one above it. In there, place your double chest. Then on top of the... Ooh, that's annoying. On top of the chest, pop your stair block like that. That'll let you open the chest still and block off stuff from getting through. Now dig that out. Stick your hopper facing into the chest. Then grab your signs. And so skip out that block. Place a sign there. Then on the left and the right, go 1, 2, sign. 1, 2, sign. Then behind it, 1, 2, sign. Now on this side, dig out that and that. Stick your water in each corner. You should get a flow of water to the central hopper. Then grab your lava bucket. Place the lava above the sign. That's above the hopper. It should stay in place like that. Seal up the hole. Then climb up. Then once you're at the top here, you can grab your trapdoor and stick it over the ladder. That'll just keep it safe. From here, stack 2 temporary blocks on top of each other, then put a bottom slab on top, then just surround the hole. This will just lock the golems in place and prevent them from escaping. Although if you want, you could just seal up the entire hole with solid blocks if you prefer. At this point, we're pretty much done with the building, so you can repeat this process on the other side if you want to go get the full 800 per hour setup. But now I'm going to move on to getting the villagers and zombie into place. Now create a dirt staircase here for the villagers and the zombie to go up, just like that. Now, if you've built near a village and you've broken all of their beds already, some of them might actually wander over automatically without you having to do anything at night. But if not, just boat them over like I've done here. Okay, now that it's night, I've just boated the villagers over to the stairs and I saw some green sparkles over their head, which means they did find the beds. So if I break these now, they should just walk straight up the stairs. And yep, that's exactly what we want. Once they're in place a bottom slab over the foot of the outside beds, and then place a wall block over the foot of the middle bed. With the villagers in place, now it's time to remove every single temporary block from the area except for the dirt staircase to get the zombie in. Make sure you don't remove these stone blocks underneath the beds. I can't stress enough how important they are. They need to be there. Also make sure that the ground in a big square 8 blocks out in every direction from underneath the bed heads is this level or lower. Once all the temporary blocks are cleared out, get your shovel. Turn each of the staircase blocks into path blocks by right-clicking on them. We need to spawn-proof them as soon as the zombie is here, golems are going to start spawning and we can't have them spawning here, otherwise they'll kill the zombie. Now get your walls. On each side of this slab, place a wall. And on the other side of this, I'm just going to place a few more temporary blocks just to help. Turn those into path blocks as well. Then on the slab, place a boat. I'm just going to drive it into the corner, make sure I can't go any further. Get out. And now we're ready to bring our zombie in. Okay, I've got a zombie chasing me now. I'm just going to hope he follows me up the stairs. Yep. I'm just going to get on this side here. And yep, now he's in the boat. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put some walls here. There's temporary blocks, 3 high. Then on the bottom of that top temporary wall we've put, place the bottom slab. And then we can just get rid of these. That'll just protect him from the sun. Oh. Okay, there we go. With that done, just get rid of all the temporary blocks. Looks kind of weird because I've removed the particles with Tweakaroo just to stop the night vision effect being incredibly annoying. And unless I've forgotten something, that's the farm done. If you like symmetry, you can pop another wall block there. Or you can just remove all 4 of them. I don't think it matters either way. Okay, I just double checked everything. It's all in place. Everything's working as it should. And We've got a golem passing through there. Overall, I'm really happy with how this farm turned out. Well, that's all from me now. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good one. See you later.